G'day, my name's Keith, and tonight, a very special edition of World of Hollywood. I have here in my hand a printed copy of the story treatment for an unproduced sequel to E.T. entitled E.T. 2 Nocturnal Fears by Steven Spielberg and Melissa Mathison. And this was written in July 1982, about 2 months after the original film came out. So obviously they spent a lot of time on this document, which is 9 pages long. So we're going to go straight into it. Now, I should say I purchased the script from the dark web, eBay, from a gentleman for the princely sum of $1,250. But the man did assure me that this is not just a PDF that you can download off the internet. This is a special item, so this will be going in the safe afterwards. So let's begin. E.T. 2 Nocturnal Fears. What a great title to begin with. In the night sky, there's an emotion churning about. The stars twinkle blankly, expressionless, as if to say that something is wrong. There is a slight breeze disturbing the treetops. Or is it? Through gnarled branches, we gaze upon a familiar sight. In what seemed like only the blink of an eye, something has penetrated the night sky and nearly avoided our attention. A small noise, followed by streaks of stray light, further acknowledge its presence. Bit of a typo on the word presence there. A door is being opened on the giant ornamental mothership, now resting in the forest clearing. A door opens, just said that, and extends outward to make a ramp. Light pours from within, and a figure emerges as a silhouette. The creature moves in a familiar fashion, a waddle. Already I'm tingling. School has now come to an end for Elliot, Michael, Gertie, and their many friends. For most youngsters, summer is something to look forward to. This is not the case for a handful of children this summer. Summer is, unfortunately, a continuation and concentration of feelings and thoughts the previous months only hinted to. For these few kids, summer promises only one thing: loneliness. This is the first of many summers without their little alien friend nicknamed E.T. Hard as it is, the children cope. Elliot, Michael, and Gertie are close to one another since E.T. came into their lives. They have a special sort of relationship now. They were already siblings. But as always, time tends to blur memories, and Elliot's mother, Mary, is still waiting for that process to begin. So far, however, E.T. is as popular today as he ever was. Don't really understand that. The spaceship nestled in the forest clearing surrounded by massive redwoods seems to be showing signs of life. Movement can be detected within the ship. The aliens on board are evil. They have landed on Earth in response to distress signals designating its present coordinates. These aliens are searching for a stranded extraterrestrial named Zrek, who is sending a call for help. In quotes. The evil creatures are carnivorous. Their leader, Corell, commands his crew to disperse into the forest to acquire food. As the squat aliens leave the gangplank, each one emits a hypnotic hum which has a paralyzing effect on the surrounding wildlife. These creatures are an albino mutation of the same civilization E.T. belongs to. The two separate groups have been at war for decades. I've always wondered who E.T.'s at war with. Corell approaches the top of the gangplank and raises his frail arms outward as his yellow heart light summons his crew back to the mothership. For a moment, the aliens are paralyzed themselves. The tiny creatures eventually look up with their large, expressive red eyes and begin their orderly processional back into the spaceship. Inside the craft is a vast assortment of large plants and animal-like beasts in cages of light, obviously specimens from past voyages. At Elliot's home, we see him climbing onto his roof to check E.T.'s communicator, which has been anchored down and sending messages into space ever since E.T. left Earth. Now, I should mention that's the end of page 3. There are 9 pages, which means I suppose each page of the script represents about 10 minutes of the movie. So I guess we're 30 minutes into the movie. Elliot's father returned from New Mexico months before and filed for divorce and moved back to New Mexico. But Elliot's family has seen harder times, and the fact that Mary has been dating Dr. Keyes since they met just before E.T. left has eased the strain considerably. One thing is certain. Everybody under this household's roof has something in common. E.T. Keyes has told his story time and time again about his first meeting with the tiny, confused E.T. It's a story full of emotion, surprise, and mystery. Keyes never plays down how important that experience was to the direction his life took from then on. Keyes admits his life ambitions were channeled toward more positive and rewarding goals. He didn't continue to live in a dream world of hope that he would one day meet his space friend again, like he fears Elliot and his friends are now. Keyes insists he chose to pursue medicine and science because of E.T. Recently, Elliot has been sensing something he cannot explain. His umbrella communicator is reacting strangely now. He thinks it could be receiving a message from space. In his room, Elliot is searching for something. On his wall is the Polaroid snapshot of himself with Michael and E.T. on Halloween night. Above his bed, we see E.T.'s clay planet suspended by wire from the ceiling. Elliot emerges from the closet with a pot. His face becomes sad. The geranium is still dead. I thought it was fine at the end of the... whatever. He puts the pot on his dresser and sits on his bed, thinking. Later, Elliot jumps up happy and races through the house. He finds Michael and Gertie and makes them promise their most excellent promise that they will tell nobody what they're about to do. Having finished that, Elliot calls his D&D buddies, Steve, Tyler, and Greg, and tells them to ride their bicycles to the forest clearing because E.T. could be coming back. There have been numerous reports of unexplained cattle mutilations in the surrounding countryside. That's just an aside. At the clearing, we sense danger. We see shadows and undefined forms lurking in the nearby forest. Night is falling, and in the distance, we hear a commotion. Commotion. Elliot and his friends are converging on the clearing, unaware of any trouble. They arrive and dismount their bicycles. In awe, everyone gazes upon the dark contours of the massive spaceship. Suddenly, the figure of Carell appears in an illuminated porthole. Telepathically, Carell speaks to the children, asking the whereabouts of the fugitive alien, Zrek. The children reply honestly that he's gone home. Carell becomes angry, believing that they are lying. When the children regain their senses, they are surrounded by the evil alien creatures who are hiding in the forest. The creatures are carrying some kind of dagger. Elliot advances in a friendly gesture, but barely escapes being bitten or even killed by the aliens' razor-sharp teeth, or the dagger. Several of the aliens bare their fangs from time to show they mean business. Carell orders that the children be brought aboard. Reluctantly, Elliot and his friends follow. This is quite a serious turn this has taken. In the hours that follow, Elliot and his companions are questioned extensively, but the aliens will not accept the truth in their responses. While one child is interrogated, another is being examined. Gertie is crying and calling for Mary and E.T. for help. The others endure as their wargaming experiences have taught them. Yes. At Elliot's house, Mary is arriving from an extended date with Dr. Keyes. They enter the empty house and proceed to investigate further why nobody is home. It is past 11 p.m. It's now time for Elliot to be questioned. The aliens show no mercy when he replies with the truth. The questioning process intensifies when they learn from his memory that he has dealt directly with Zrek. The pain is tremendous for Elliot, and he breaks down and begins screaming for E.T.'s help. Elliot blacks out, but the echoes of his last cry can be heard from a distance. At this point, we follow upward the echoing cry for E.T. into the cosmos, where the painful cry seems to die. In the meantime, Keyes and Mary decide not to call the police yet. They hear a strange noise coming from somewhere. They finally realize that the sound is coming from the roof. Mary leads the way to Elliot's room, where there is a trapdoor leading to the attic. A trapdoor leading to the attic. A trapdoor. From there, Keyes climbs out a window and up to the rooftop. He witnesses a bizarre sight. The communicator is vibrating crazily and rotating to a new position. The keyboard readout is repeating the same entry. E.T. help Elliot soon. Keyes calls Mary to the roof. When she arrives to read the message, they embrace and go back through the attic into Elliot's room. Mary turns around and sees the geranium blooming to life. She lets out a feeble yelp and begins to cry. Keyes and Mary are now aware of what has been happening. They go to their car and head for the forest clearing. Elliot is mentally and physically drained now. Because he is no longer of any use to the aliens, they carry his limp body to a light cage where Michael and Gertie are already resting. Suddenly, we hear a strange resonating hum throughout the ship, yet it's not coming from within the ship. All the evil aliens freeze. A hatch opens to reveal E.T. with his glowing finger raised and his heart light pulsating. Elliot awakes immediately. E.T. advances toward the captives and deactivates the light cages. He and Elliot embrace with tears in their eyes. Elliot, Michael, Gertie, Steve Tyler, and Greg leave the evil mothership and wait for E.T. to come out after reprogramming the aliens' navigation controls. E.T. exits the ship and rejoins his faithful friends. Soon after, Mary and Keys arrive and are reunited again with the magical little alien named E.T. After saying their tearful goodbyes, E.T.'s own mothership descends from the heavens to take the place of the evil ship that is now en route to a remote corner of the galaxy. There is hope in everyone's eyes as they all, again, behold the picturesque departure of their favorite alien. Dreams can come true. The end. SSMM. Wow. That's a hell of a story. Never mind the fact that E.T. only shows up in the last 2 paragraphs of the entire film. So, thanks for joining me for E.T. 2, Nocturnal Fears. I think you'll agree it would have been a ripper of a movie, possibly better than the first one. And we'll see you next time.